Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Forms to be able to create assessments for your organization or for your projects. So let me just go ahead and explain what I'm going to be doing here. How to create assessment forms using Microsoft Forms. Okay, and then how to customize the form with certain colors, how to add a logo to your form, and finally how to import an existing form, from Word to Microsoft Forms. Right? So recently Microsoft added a new method to be able to import a Word document directly into Microsoft Forms for it to be able to automatically populate the questions and answers into Microsoft Forms to minimize the time it needs for you to be able to copy and paste from different documents into Microsoft Forms. Right? So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And finally, I'm going to show you how to configure the form for styling and formatting and for logos and color codes that you like for that form. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So before we start, you have to just make sure you log into your Microsoft 365 account on the cloud, and please note that you should use Edge as your browser, as it integrates directly with the Office 365. It's going to make it much easier for you to navigate the apps. Once again, you're going to see the screen right here. You might not see this because these are all different forms which I created in the past. So for example, let's go ahead and create a new form, and I'll just call it, for example, assessment, and this is the description: pre-assessment for FinTech Open APIs training course. Okay, so basically here I'm creating a form from scratch, and then I want to make it a multiple choice question. So I'll go ahead and create add new multiple choice question, and that's going to be my first question, which I'm going to add. So obviously, if you want to be able to capture their email and their let's say named an email, so you want to put it as a text, and then let's do it here actually. I can delete this and delete this as well, and create a new text question, and then make it please enter your name, and then I'll do like and that's the text, and I'll make it required, and then I'll add another question of text: please enter your email address, right? And that's going to be the second one, and then from here I'm going to start creating the questions. So here I have a ready-made document which has all my questions in it, so I'm just going to go here and start copying each question along with the different options. So here I've got A, for each option, and then B, option 2, add another option, add a third option, and then it's option C, and then it's D. Right, and that takes care of the question, and then you can go ahead and choose if it's the grading for it, and then the right answer for it, right? So okay, and then you go and do the same thing for all the other questions which you want to be able to ask, right? And then from there on, once you're done, you can preview it, and then you can see the whole how is it going to be able to appear for the audience or for the people who will be able to answer this assessment. Right now, keep in mind, this is a survey. Let me just explain. You have two types of forms, right? forms in, there is a survey form, and then there is a quiz form. The difference is in a survey form, there's no grading options, right? You cannot put grades on the form, like in this case here. In the quiz type of form, you can put grades on it, and you can put timelines, like for example, give it a time limit of, for example, 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes for them to be able to answer the questions, right? Okay, so let me actually show an example of a quiz form. So here, when you go to the new forms, you can go new quiz, and then you can put, for example, APIs, put the description, assessment quiz, and then you can start putting your questions here. So I'm going to copy it from my Word document. So the first one here, and then I'll put in the answer choices, right? So I'll copy each answer. Now, and then you choose like what's the correct answer, which is this, and then you can put the points, for example, 1, and then you can go required to make sure it's the required answer, and then you go to the next one, and this will allow you to create the quiz, and then in the settings you can put a time limit on it depending on what your time limits are. From there you'll be able to preview it. How is it going to look like? Okay, so this is like obviously a tedious way of probably if you have like a very long, like maybe you have 20 questions or 30 questions, or you have, for example, 50 questions, it might take you a very long time to copy and paste each one. So obviously Microsoft did a new option to import a Word document directly into Forms, which I think is very useful, right? So let's go ahead and see how that works. So what you can do now is when you just log into the form, you're going to see this quick import option. Once you click on it, you're going to upload the form directly from your local drive. And so I have one right here. Actually, let me choose a different one. And I'm going to choose a quiz. And then it's going to take a minute for it to finish the conversion. I'm just going to pause it right here. Okay, now that it was converted successfully, I'm going to start the review process and see what it did. So it copied the header. So if you look at my Word document here, I have these headers here, I've got these information here, I've got the questions, and then I've got the answer points or the answer options on each question, right? So it copied everything here. So maybe I can edit this. I don't need anything else. If you want to add your logo, you can do it right here. You can import an image. Let's say you want to add a logo, for example, for depending on your organization, depending on your depending on your company, so I can do something like this, and I can just add it right here, and it's going to add it directly into the title, right? And then you can do a preview. You can see how it's going to look like. Okay. From here, you can add the logo, and then you can start looking. Now, the only thing here, it did not import the options A, B, C, and D, which is kind of annoying. So here you need to go and add the options. For example, A for each, and then B, right, and then C and D, right, for each question. And then you have to choose the right answer, the correct answers. So this one, the first one is the correct answer, and then you put the points, for example, 2, and then you're done. And you put required. So this is why you're still, you're still saving time of importing all the text of the questions and of the answers, but you still have to edit it to make sure the option answers A, B, and C, and D for each question has to be edited for each one. Here there's a gap, so which means you have to go back into your document and make sure, check what was copied, and then you can go back and edit it right here. So it's probably You don't need this option here, you can delete it, right? And then you have these options right here. Okay, and the same thing here. So make sure, I've noticed if you have multiple pages, like of your assessment document or of your questions, it's going to create a gap between them. So just make sure that you try to minimize or edit that just to be able to edit it. So if you have, let's say, a document with like 50 or 60 questions and you have it's on multiple pages, every time there's a page break, it's going to add this gap on the question. Just make sure you go and edit it, right? Right here. And so this is the options here. Now let's take a look at how to style it, right? So here you go for the styling. You have a lot of options here. You can choose the color coordinates, the background of the form of the quiz. You have options on putting background music. You have other options of adding customized themes. If you want to add a specific theme, you can put the hexa code of that theme. So I have a hexa color code here, which I can just copy it and add it here, and that's the color for it. Then you go back, and then that's the customized color theme. I can add it, and it just generates that specific color which you want. If you have your colors of your logo or of your company, and you can get the hexa code of the colors from your designers or from your graphic artist, and you can just copy it here for it to make sure it matches the themes of your organization or of your company, right? You have other options as well. You can put background music, or sorry, background animation. So you have videos here, for example, here. You have stuff that, so let's see, you can see it moving. So once we preview it right here, whenever someone is answering the question, there's a background animation, which is very powerful. It makes it very attractive for you to be able to attract attention or attract the user's attention when they are submitting the form, right? It can be distracting as well. So it just depends on you and what you want to do. I prefer it to be static. I don't like the animation in the background. And then you can simply edit that depending on your needs, okay? The next thing here, what you can do is in the settings, you have options. So here you want to be able to uh, option for quiz, right? This is, you want to give a practice mode, you can. You can show the results automatically once the person submits the quiz. You can do that, who's going to be able to, you want only people from your organization or anyone from outside the organization to be able to submit the quiz, which means they have to register and verify their email addresses. You have the start date, end date, you have the time duration, which is the time limit, which you can set on that specific quiz, if it's 20 minutes or 15 minutes. You can shuffle the questions to make sure people don't, copy or use other people's helps in that in the quiz to make it more challenging for them. And then you can do the response receipts, allow receipt of responses after the submission, that every user will receive an email receipt of his submission of that quiz, right? So all these are, and then you will get email notification of each response, which you would get as well, depending on what email address that you want to be able to review, or if you have people who want to be able to review that specific quiz or different departments, right? So you have a lot of these options here. Now, another option is, let's take a look at, for example, how to get the QR code for the form, right? Now, you have some options here. You can either do it yourself in the preview, and you can just copy this and go to, that's the old way of doing QR code generator. And then you can just create one right here. You can do it either here. This is the Bing's QR code generator, or there's something I always use from Bitly, and I can just put it right here. And that becomes my QR code, which I can scan or put it on the forms for my audience to be able to fill. And now there's an automatic way which they added recently. So you can simply go to present, and it's going to automatically generate a QR code right here, right, based on the form. You can copy the link and paste it, or you can just get the QR code and then you can copy it in your presentations for people to be able just to scan it and answer directly on their email addresses. Now this is automatically generated, right, which you can do. Now this is a different ways of viewing it if you want to do the quiz on an online basis in a classroom session where people just can go and answer Verbally, for each question, you can do that as well. You have the different bar options, how many people are answering for each specific question the right way, right? These are all different options for you to make it more interactive, for the quiz to be interactive, or you want to do it in a classroom fashion instead of like individually where each person does it individually. So you have a lot of these options here, right? Now keep in mind, the reason why we go for Microsoft Forms is because you guys have probably noticed that a lot of times the IT security are blocking Google Forms because of security reasons. So now Microsoft Forms is part of the Office 365 application suite or cloud apps, which is part of your like Word, PowerPoint online, which by default is granted access in your organization, which makes it easier for you to create your forms in Microsoft Forms than if you would on Google Forms, right? Okay, and that wraps it up for how to create forms or assessment forms using Microsoft Forms. I covered how to create one manually from scratch. I covered how to import a form directly from Microsoft Forms just by going by quick import. And by the way, it also supports PDF files. If you want to do it from, if you have forms in PDF files, you'll be able to support it. It also supports multiple languages. So if you have different languages such as Spanish or French, you can do it as well on multiple languages. Keep in mind the conversion from Word or PDF into the forms. The most accurate conversion is the English language. Other languages are supported, but the most accurate version is the English language whenever you are importing from different documents into Microsoft Forms. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and you can subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments. I'll try to answer them as fast as I can. And I wish you best in your future project. Have a great and safe day.